Now let's read further. A while he listened sadly, then had turned away, but something moved the priest who held the plate of gold to beckon to the peasant. So he came, not understanding, and obeyed, and stretched his hand and took the sacred vessel. Lo, it shone with thrice its former luster and amazed them all. So, what happened? For some time, the people were arguing and trying to prove that they were the best candidate for getting the gift of heaven. So he listened to them, and the peasant sadly uh, turned away. But just at the time, something moved the priest. Some indication the priest must have got. He was holding the plate of gold and he beckoned to the peasant. What do you mean by beckon? Means movement of hands or fingers to call someone. So he called whom? The peasant. The priest called the peasant. The peasant came near the priest. He was not knowing why the priest was calling him. And he obeyed what the priest was asking him to do. The priest was giving him the plate of gold, so he stretched his hand and took the plate of gold. And as soon as it came to the hands of the peasant, a surprise happened. What happened? Its former luster means what? Glow, sheen. It became thrice than what it was earlier. And such a surprising thing amazed them all. Everybody was surprised. Up till now, what was happening? To whomsoever it was being given, the gold plate was turning to lead. But here, just the opposite happened. When the peasant, touched the plate of gold, it started shining 3 times than what it was shining earlier. Let's read ahead. Son, cried the priest, rejoice, the gift of God is thine. Thine means what? Yours. Thou lovest best. Thou means you love the best. And all made answers, it is well. So everybody accepted that since it was a clear indication that the plate of gold started shining all the more, it was an indication from God itself that he was the right choice. Who was the right choice? The peasant. And one by one departed. Everybody came to know that the plate of gold has been already gifted. So they parted. They went away, departed from there. But the peasant knelt and prayed. The peasant went on his knees and prayed, bowing his head above the golden plate, while over his soul, like morning, streamed the love of God. So the priest told the peasant to be happy, to rejoice, because the gift from God, the plate of gold was given to him. And why was it given to him? Because he was chosen by heaven to be the one who loved the best. And everyone agreed. One by one they left. When the peasant knelt down, he went on his knees and prayed to God, bowing his head above the golden plate. I am sure all of you all will agree that while he was praying, he must have not prayed for his own self. What do you think he must have asked from God? He must have asked, I am sure, for the well-being for all. He must have asked the troubles of others to be taken away, because we know very well that he is not a selfish man. He does not have money, but he definitely has feelings. So we can be sure that is what he must have asked. And in this line, thou lovest best, the figure of speech is exclamation. Exclamation adds, force. That's why you see an exclamation mark after the words. In the last line, while over his soul, like morning, streamed the love of God. Here you see the figure of speech is simile. Just as the brightness of morning spreads everywhere while the peasant was praying, in the same way the love of God spread all over the soul of the peasant. So there is a comparison between morning light and the light of God that is spreading over the soul of the peasant. Now I am sure you will all agree that in this poem the poet has told us a story which has got a strong message. And what is the strong message that it is giving? The message is that God loves those who love their fellow beings. And how do you show your love? Is it through material things? Is it through the money? No. The love has to be genuine. It can be given through emotions. It can just be a touch full of compassion. It can be just few of words which are full of love that can comfort someone. So always remember, love doesn't have to be shown through material things. Is that clear to you? Remember the message. God loves those who love their fellow beings. Okay students, now let's do the English workshop questions. Question number 1. Pick out words from the poem to complete the sentences meaningfully. Stephen Hawking was a dash astrophysicist. Famous. The word which is used in the poem for famous is renowned. Stephen Hawking was a renowned astrophysicist. Second, the government made a dash about their new taxation policy. Announcement. I'm sure you must be remembering, they made a proclamation. The government made a proclamation about their new taxation policy. Everyone stood horrified when the terrible accident took place. Everyone stood aghast when the terrible accident took place. She bargained with the hawker to reduce the price. She wrangled with the hawker to reduce the price. Handicapped people should never be shunned, ignored or avoided. The next question is, make a list of archaic words from the poem and give their modern equivalents. Now I am giving you a few archaic words and their modern equivalents. You are welcome to write few more from the poem. Wondrous. Wondrous means wonderful. Loveth. Loveth in modern English means loves. Dropped. D-R-O-P-T in modern English means dropped. D-R-O-P-P-E-D. Writ in modern English means written. Bestowed in modern times is known as presented. Thou means you. Thy means your. Thine means yours. Lovest means loves. Now there may be few more in the poem which you are welcome to write. Okay. Now the question number 3 is a homework. In this question you have to rearrange the given sentences in proper order in which they happen, so as to make them into a flowchart as per the poem. Okay, I am sure since you know the story of the poem, you will be able to do this. Write them in the order of their happening. Now question number 4. Which two sayings about God are conveyed through the poem? The plate of gold. God helps those who help themselves. This is correct, but this is not actually conveyed through this poem. The saying is correct. God loves those who love their fellow beings. God loves those who give away their wealth to please Him. And service to mankind is service to God. I am sure you will agree that the second one and fourth one are the sayings that are conveyed through the poem. God loves those who love their fellow beings, and service to mankind is service to God. In the third case, God loves those who give away their wealth to please Him, is not correct. We have a example against it in this poem itself. The man was given the plate of gold in the first instance, who had given away his full estate to the poor, but still he did not get the plate of gold. It turned to lead. So I'm sure you will agree that the second and the fourth one are the sayings which are conveyed through the poem. Okay, now let's go to the appreciation or analysis of the poem. I hope you remember that this kind of question carries 5 marks nearly, and you should take it seriously. Generally, the question will go like this. Write the analysis or appreciation of the poem Plate of Gold as regards the poem, poet, theme, tone, structure and stanzas, rhyme and rhythm, language and imagery, figures of speech used in the poem, why do you like the poem, so on and so forth. Generally, you are expected to write on the basis of any 5 points out of the given points. So here we go. Let's do the appreciation of the poem. The name of the poem is The Plate of Gold, and the poet is James Henry Leigh Hunt. The theme of the poem is God loves those who love their fellow beings, and service to mankind is service to God, as we have just seen. The tone of the poem is narrative, serious, and of that which gives a moral lesson. Structure and stanzas. There is no uniformity in the stanzas or the length of the lines, as well as there is no rhythm or rhyme scheme, because as we have seen that it is a free verse. A free verse does not follow any rhyme scheme or rhythm. There are a lot of archaic words used in this and plenty of imagery. Okay, you can actually see them, the scenes of the poem in front of your eyes. Such is the language used. And there are various figures of speech which are used in the poem, like inversion, repetition, onomatopoeia, simile, so on and so forth. Now, why do you like the poem is your own prerogative. You can decide what you want to write. If you like specially some lines of the poem, you can mention that, or you may even mention that you like the whole story as is narrated in the poem, and you like how the message has been given to the students. That also you can write. Okay, I hope you have understood the poem, and that's all for the day. Thank you.